It's early on a Monday morning. I've just finished my video update. It's a weekly video update I send out to my Trading Room subscribers. I thought I'd share it with you this week. So here it is. This is this week's trading update. Hey traders, I hope everyone had a good weekend. It was a really good one for me. One of the best weekends I've had for a long time. I was able to pursue some hobbies. I was able to get some things done on the house, some DIY jobs that have been on the list for a while. I was able to watch a film with the family, enjoy really good food. I was able to go to the gym. It was a very balanced and full weekend. They're the weekends that I like. I also watched Adolescence on Netflix, which has been on my list for a while. My wife had seen it before. She really wanted me to watch it, and that was quite an eye-opening series. I suggest you watch it. It was good. Okay, let's jump into this. Let's look at the fundamental spreadsheet first of all. How are things looking? I'm still looking to buy the dollar, and this is my most obvious buy. However, the market does not agree with me at the moment, or I don't agree with the market. This bias really is based on higher and climbing inflation. And I believe we have inflation for the US coming out this week, unless the government shutdown impacts that. I don't know. But it is scheduled to come out this week. It's not just that inflation figure, which will be the inflation for September. It's the next inflation figure. So we have about a month to see if this crystallizes into anything or not. If inflation doesn't start climbing, if it doesn't climb higher, then my bias for the dollar will be indecisive, because we have high inflation, high GDP growth, which is an obvious buy, but then we have that labour market that is climbing. So a clash in these economic figures, it makes it indecisive for me. It's not an obvious trade. So this all depends on inflation, and we'll see how this goes, because the market isn't really pricing this in. If inflation starts to climb, I think we could see some big moves on the dollar. Unexpected inflation rising higher. We could see some big moves on dollar pairs, dollar strengthening. So I need to ensure I have dollar positions open before that inflation figure, and I may have to just open a dollar position in anticipation for that. I don't have any dollar positions open at the moment, so I can't benefit from a stronger dollar. I was long the dollar. I was short euro US dollar. I was long the dollar index. There were some other positions open. US dollar Swiss franc, that was a long position, but all of them were stopped out or profit. So I need to get a dollar position open before that figure comes out. If it comes out, I have not had a look yet to see if the figure will be delayed. Last time I looked, it said the 24th of October. So it is scheduled for Friday. Inflation for September. It is forecast to be higher, which I think it is going to be. But the actual figure will depend on how the dollar moves, I guess. Okay. What else do we have? I'm looking to buy the Swedish krona. That's no surprise. I'm looking to sell the Swiss franc. So this is we got low inflation, we got low GDP growth, which is a sell. Unemployment isn't really going anywhere, so we can ignore that. I have it down as a sell, but every Swiss franc chart, the Swiss franc is uptrending, It's strengthening. It's very strong. So I doubt there would be any trades. I did try last week and it backfired. I kind of knew when I took the trades it wasn't going to work out. I should just never have taken them. However, there is one chart that's downtrending longer term, Swiss franc, Mexican peso, and I have gone short that pair. And I'll go through that in today's update. I'm also looking to sell the pound. We have stagflation, but it's the labour market. It's high and climbing unemployment. Let's put this down as a sell for me. This could push the Bank of England to cut rates or make rate cuts more likely. I actually don't see it happening really, because with the same issue with the US, we have inflation climbing. It's high and climbing. Let's have a look at that. So inflation, you can see here, it should be at this red line, if not below it. And we're nearing 4%. So it's very unlikely they're going to cut rates. But with that unemployment rate climbing, there is pressure on them to cut rates. Very similar to the US. Very similar situation to the US. But inflation is even higher in the UK than the US. I've got the yen down as a sell. I've got like indecisive economic indicators: buy based on inflation and GDP growth, sell based on unemployment rate. However, we have this new Prime Minister who's likely now to come into power, likely to take over, and that should result in a weaker yen, a stronger stock market and a weaker yen, and it should push back rate hikes, which the Bank of Japan has suggested they will do. But with this new Prime Minister, they'll probably hold that off. So I've got that down as a sell, and I've got some positions open this morning based on that, which I'll go through in a moment. So that's how it looks for currencies. With equities, markets continue to move higher, especially European markets. US markets have had a bit of a scare, like last week and the week before. There was a short-term sell-off, but they keep bouncing. The dip continues to be bought. Is there an AI bubble? It doesn't look like it at the moment. There will be some sort of correction at some point. I thought it was going to happen last week as markets started to fall with the whole US bank concern. But once again, we're climbing higher this morning. Other markets, gold. Let's have a quick look at gold, because I am interested in gold. So we bring up gold. There was a strong move down on Friday. It doesn't look like much compared to this uptrend, but this is quite a volatile move compared to how gold has been previously. This is the move down. I was expecting this move down. I did say, I think Wednesday, Thursday, this market's becoming euphoric. We're due some sort of correction. We've had a strong move down, even though it's not like a retracement move. So we could climb higher again. But I wouldn't be buying gold at these prices. It's just not my style. Okay. So that's how things look from a fundamental point of view. If equity markets fall, I think gold may fall too, even though it's a safe haven, only short term, just because it's so overbought. But this thing could just continue to move higher as the global uncertainty grows between US and China and Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Gaza. I saw that Israel and Gaza kicked things off again yesterday with airstrikes. As debt continues to build in Europe, in US, as Trump continues to make decisions and protests in the US, all these things just make gold an obvious buy. But like I said, I wouldn't buy at the current prices. So unless this really changes, I think we'll see gold continue to uptrend and move higher. But I do think this is also a potential bubble. So we could see, as if things calm down globally, that we see this big burst in gold, when we see prices come down. But I'm not trading that, just my observations. Okay, what positions do I have open? Let's go through Swiss franc, Mexican peso first, because I don't have it on this platform, so I'll likely forget about it. So Swiss franc, Mexican peso, it's a really good swap rate going short this pair. We have 0% rates in Switzerland and Mexico. If this is right, 8%. Let's just check that. Where are you? Yeah, it looks, no, not 8%, 7.5% for Mexico, which is still very high. So a good positive swap rate going short this pair, buying the Mexican peso, selling the Swiss franc. This is a set and forget trade. Big perfect pin bar here at this bearish channel resistance and the 100 SMA. Obviously a very wide stop loss, but that's good for this sort of pair. You know, the Mexican peso, you know, look at these spikes and moves that you can get. So a wide stop loss is best. What other set and forget trades do I have open? Pound, Swedish krona. Price is testing the moving averages. It's also potentially breaking out of this monthly bullish channel support, this channel. So we could see a move lower. On the daily, we've had two perfect pin bars. So a perfect pin bar followed by a perfect pin bar inside bar. So I've gone short this morning. It's quite a tight stop loss for a pair like this, an exotic pair. So it could be over quite quickly. I'm also long Australian dollar yen. Another perfect pin bar. Rejection of two moving averages and prices uptrending here on the daily. There is a slight concern for me that this is a head and shoulder pattern. So we need to be aware of that. So 3 set and forget positions open. How about trading fundamentals, my main trading strategy? I do have a pound Swedish krona trade open. I didn't signal it because I'm already short with set and forget, but there was an inside bar here at this 4-hour horizontal channel resistance area. And price has broken lower this morning, or opened lower. So I'm also short pound Swedish krona for trading fundamentals. I'm long euro yen. This is the other trade taken this morning. This is inside bars here, 2 of them, then a break higher off the 100 SMA, and on the weekly price is testing this previous swing high. So this is based on a weaker yen, but wait and see what happens. The good thing about these positions I'm taking is I think all of them, if not most of them, have positive swap rates. So I don't mind how long it takes these positions to get stopped out, to move higher, because there's a good positive swap rate holding these positions. So that's euro yen, pound Swedish krona. I've also got pound Australian dollar, which was taken last week. This is the perfect pin bar here. Ignore this. It's this perfect pin bar here at daily bearish channel resistance, and the perfect pin bar had an RSI signal. So I'm in this trade. It's in profit. I'm hoping to catch a downtrend on the 1 hour. My stop loss is still above that second channel. Up here you can see my dashed line. That's it. I think that's all my open positions. I may have missed something, but I don't believe I have. Okay, so what do I expect this week? Well, obviously I'm going to trade according to my fundamentals. There are a couple of charts that have stood out to me this morning as I've gone through things. US dollar, Canadian dollar is one of them. So price is testing this previous swing high over here on the daily. So coming down, testing this area. If this area breaks, there's the 200 SMA. If that breaks, there's all of this down here. So the other previous swing high, there's the 50 SMA. There's a weekly level. So this weekly level here, very clear resistance. Could be support. So I'm looking to go long. Price is coming off the 50 SMA, but there wasn't a setup. This could be the next trade, and this could put me in a good position for that inflation rate on Friday. So I'm keen to go long US dollar, Canadian dollar. US dollar, Norwegian krona is also, I'm keeping an eye on this. We don't have prices uptrending on the daily or the weekly. You know, price is very bearish, but has broken on the daily this very clear trend resistance, this diagonal resistance, the trend resistance. Price is broken above that, which suggests we could see some upside, and I want to be long the dollar. Price is now testing daily moving averages, namely the 50 SMA. On the 4 hour, we have had an inside bar here off the 200 SMA, so I should be long. You can see I'm gauged or ready to be long. I just really struggle with these exotic pairs sometimes. Let's have a look at this on other charts. It kind of put me off that this candle here, the mother candle, was the opening candle, which can look different on different charts. So you can see it doesn't exist here. Let's have a look at a couple of others. It doesn't exist here either. So it's not a trade I'm going to take, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, and it could be a trade for later today or later this week. So I'm keeping an eye on that too. Moving over to momentum trades, Australian dollar yen. It's coming off these moving averages on the daily. On the 4 hour, we had an RSI signal. On the 1 hour, what I'm looking for is a break of this horizontal resistance. If price can close above this area and pull back, I'll go long with my stop loss below moving averages. There's a potential momentum trade. Set and forget. Any potential trades, I'm in them, and I've listed them in the Telegram group this morning. Let's have a look at the calendar and see what's happening this week. Let's refresh this. Any questions about anything, let me know. If you disagree with my analysis, that's absolutely fine. This is my fundamentals. This is what I'm watching for the reasons I've given. But it's fine for you to have a different fundamental view. This is what makes the market. You need to have buyers and sellers. Okay, let's just scan through. Inflation for Canada on Tuesday, bounce to trade. Inflation for UK on Wednesday. I think it's going to be a very active week, isn't it? Interest rate decision for Turkey. PMI figures for Australia on Thursday. So every day inflation. It's really inflation week, isn't it? Inflation for Japan on Friday. Retail sales for the UK, PMI for the UK, inflation for the US. It's inflation week, so be aware of that. There's something happening every day. I'd say apart from today, until we have this inflation for Canada on Tuesday, there's not a great deal happening. Okay, that's it from me. Have a good trading week. I've only got just over a month of trading. I won't be trading in December. I'll be taking December off. I just don't know when. I won't necessarily be taking the 1st of December off and returning on the 1st of January. I'll decide closer to the time, but looking at this, it might be that I do that. I return on New Year's Day and finish this Monday. It's coming up quickly. Okay, have a good trading week. Let me know if you have any questions.